Hey guys, what's going on? It's Daniel Strunk from QuickTime Reactions, and uh, the show happened last night, and I wanted to give my quick thoughts about Survivor Series 2024. Um, I thought last night was a pretty good overall show. Um, I wish there were like maybe a couple of other things that happened on the show, but overall it was a pretty good show. The main event last night was, of course, the OG Bloodline versus New Bloodline War Games match, which I thought was pretty good. A lot of the guys took a lot of uh, big risks in the match, including Reed, who hit a massive tsunami off the top of the cage. He missed that, and I think I saw somewhere that I think he's got either one or both of his ankles broken off of that, which is absolutely insane. Um, but the story throughout the match was the New Bloodline all come out as a unit, but the OG Bloodline, they all came out separately. Jay and Tama started out the match, but when Tongaloa was going to enter, Solo stopped him and had Jacob enter. When Punk thought he was going to enter, Roman stopped him and said, "Sammy, you go in." And when Roman was going to enter the match, Punk just immediately cut him off and walked out of the holding cell. There's one point where Roman helps everybody else up except for Punk, and Heyman came out to remind Roman that, hey, you guys need to work together in order to win this. And eventually, the OG Bloodline circles Solo in the second ring. Super kicks by the Usos, Helluva Kick by Sami Zayn, GTS by Punk, and a spear by Roman allows the OG Bloodline to win. Now, if this were me, if I were, if I had the book, I would have done, because if they are going to do Rock and Roman at Mania 41, I would have done, something similar to Fall Brawl 96, in which Punk wouldn't have been the fifth man. The Rock would have been the fifth man. Now, I'm not saying you have Rock go through an entire War Games match. That's not what I'm doing. You have Rock enter last, and you have him slam the cage door into Roman's head, allowing for the New Bloodline to win. That's what I would have done in order to set up that match. Like, Roman could have gotten his revenge at, say, the Rumble. Like, if Rock decided to, enter himself into the Rumble, Roman could have, not been in the Rumble, but eliminated him. Like, that's the kind of stuff that you would want to build to a WrestleMania match. But yeah, OGs won the War Games match, and Punk said, when I come to you asking for that favor, I hope that it's done. And it's very interesting. Be very interesting to find out what that favor is. The women's War Games match, I thought, was probably the better of the two, I would say. Both the War Games matches were pretty good, but I think I prefer the women's a bit more. Of course, Io Sky had the annual put the trash can over her head and jump off the top of the cage. That was fun. Tiffany Stratton hid her Money in the Bank briefcase in one of the trash cans, but who was she going to cash in on? Because both the champs were in War Games. Io came in, broke that up with a fire extinguisher. Meanwhile, in that sort of distraction, Rhea was able to handcuff Rodriguez to the rope, kind of equalizing that threat. Towards the end of the match, it seemed as though the heel team was going to win, but nope. Rhea breaks up a cover after she hit Oblivion with a chair on Bayley. and Rhea was able to hit a riptide off the top rope through table in order to win for her team, which I do think is the right decision, considering the fact that, yes, they're still probably going to do Rhea and Liv somewhere down the road, but also Io is number one contender to the world title, women's world title, I should say, and, kind of want your number one contender to kind of look strong. But yeah, those were the two War Games matches. LA Knight lost his U.S. title to Shinsuke Nakamura, which I am happy about. I'm glad to see Shinsuke is getting kind of a renewed identity and renewed push with this new gimmick. I'm curious to see where this goes. Braun Breaker, he was able to retain his IC title over Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser, and I think probably was the best work rate match on the night. Braun is a freak of nature, and I hope that he's able to have a pretty decent reign with the title, and then once Gunther loses the world title, I hope he goes and gets the world title. And then I think the best story-driven match, besides maybe the men's War Games match, was definitely Gunther and Priest for the world title. It was all about Gunther's confidence being shooken up, and once he spotted an opening when Priest messed up his arm off of a flapjack, that's when Gunther pounced. But, of course, towards the end of the match, Finn Balor came in, hit a coup de grace on Priest, but Gunther booted Balor out of the way, saying, "You're not going to taint this victory." And Gunther was able to put him away with a powerbomb and sleeper, which I do think is the right decision. I don't see Gunther losing this title until Mania, if that. I really do think that he should have a decently long reign with that championship. So, yeah, those are all the matches and all the stuff that happened at Survivor Series 2024. Like I said, solid show all around. Just wish that there were a couple of other things to make it, pop out a little bit more, maybe make things a little bit more interesting. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. And the next show that I will be talking about, well, actually is in a couple of days. I'll actually be heading up to a Dynamite taping relatively soon. But the next pay-per-view that I'll talk about, well, I should say live show that I'll talk about, is Saturday night's main event, which is in a couple of weeks. So until then, I'll catch you guys next time.